Hi everyone, welcome to today's yoga session. Today we will be working on mobility. I believe mobility is very important while you're working at practicing yoga. Oftentimes people believe that flexibility is the most important part of yoga, but that's not always true. Flexibility is a more passive range of motion, so sitting in the stretch longer, and mobility is more of an active range of motion, so being able to be active while you are in that range of motion. So I figured doing a few mobility poses today would be a great idea to kickstart our Wednesday. So we'll come to a comfortable tabletop position, and all you'll need is a nice padded floor so that your knees and your wrists feel nice and supported. I recommend using a carpet or a mat. So once we get into our tabletop position, you'll feel what it feels like to have your shoulders right above your wrists and to have your hips right above your knees. Here we'll take a few centering breaths, focusing on our inhales and our exhales. Today's mobility poses are going to focus on the lower half of the body, focusing on the hips and the legs. So to begin, we'll start by sticking our right leg all the way back. We can keep our toes on the ground right now. And we are going to try to inhale and lift our leg up and exhale our leg back down. We're going to try to do this 5 times. If 5 is a little bit too much, try to at least do 3. So we'll inhale, pick our leg up, and exhale down. You can go as far up as you'd like and as you can. Inhale, exhale, back down. Inhale, up, exhale, back down. We'll do this one more time. Inhaling your right leg up, high as you can, and exhale, coming back into the tabletop position that we started in. So you guys may already be able to feel your hips working, your glutes working, your quads working, and we'll take this on the next side. So we'll extend our left leg out, and as we inhale, we'll rise, and as we exhale, we'll bring it back down to the ground. We're going to do this 4 more times on this side. Notice if you're dumping any weight into your hands or into the right side of your body here. And use your core strength to try to stay as straight as possible. And when you're done, you can come back to a tabletop position. So that's a great way to warm up our mobility practice. Another great way to get into our hips and our legs is keeping the same idea of the last pose, but holding this shape with our legs, that 90-degree angle. So what I mean by this is inhaling our leg up with our heel, looking like it's going to press into the ceiling or into the sky, wherever you are today, and exhale, bring it back down. We'll inhale our leg up, hold it, and exhale our leg back down. Let's try to do this 3 more times. Inhale your leg up like you're stamping on the ceiling, and exhale back down. Inhale, stamp your foot on the ceiling. Exhale back down, and one last one. Inhale, raise it up as high as you can, and exhale, come back to the tabletop position. In this pose, you really feel your hips activating and even the lower parts of your back to try to keep you as straight and as steady as possible. So all of these poses are using different parts of the body to gain mobility so that we can be active in these poses. We'll take this on the left side, keeping the shape of our legs the same way, just lifting up through our inhales and stamping the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, come back down. Inhale, stamp your foot on the ceiling, and exhale, back down. 3 more. On your last one, try to get your foot as high up as you can, and exhale, come all the way back down to that tabletop position. So now we feel our hips talking, our legs talking, maybe even our hands from being on them for so long. If you'd like to give your wrist a little shake, feel free to do that. We're going to come into one more balancing and mobility posture. So when you're done shaking out your wrists, come back into that tabletop position. And we'll start by reaching our right arm out in front of us and feeling this balance here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper into this pose, take your left leg and extend it back like we did for the first pose, keeping your toes on the ground at first. Finding this balance here. Continuing to breathe in and out, and don't hold your breath while you're in this pose. If you have this balance, you can try to lift your toes up off the ground. And if you are able to lift your toes, try to hold this pose for 2 breaths. Wherever you are, whether your toes are on the ground or your knees still on the ground, come back to a tabletop and shake that out. And we'll work on that balance for the next side. So first we'll extend our left arm right out in front of us. Feeling this balance here. Feeling our core tighten so that we can keep our center of gravity. And if you'd like to take this deeper, you can extend your right leg out, keeping your toes on the ground to find this balance here, find some steadiness. Continuing to breathe. And if you'd like to go deeper, lift your toes off of the ground and hold this balanced posture. Gazing at your fingertips. One more deep breath. And come back to tabletop. You can come to a seated posture and shake your wrists out. We're just on our wrists for a few minutes, so you may want to give them a little loving today and stretch them out a little bit more than usual. But we just worked on some mobility for the lower half of our body. We're going to be feeling really great, and the next time we do this, we may feel like it's a little bit easier, and we may feel a little bit more flexible as well. So thank you so much for joining this mobility yoga session today, and I hope you all have a great day.